Triggering change. Triggering change, one heartbeat at a time. Battle for freedom. Welcome everyone, this is Watson Prunier from Battle for Freedom on Mojo50 Radio. I'm glad that you are joining me, part of this show once again as we start off another week on the issue of are we alive, are we awake, are we starting this the right way? My website's www.battle4freedom.com. If you have a chance, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go to Battle for Freedom. That's my website, battle4freedom.com. From there, you can learn everything you need to know about me. I'll put up as many articles, links, and so much more. Also, I want you to go to mojo50.com. This is a part of the reason why you're able to hear me, pay attention, follow, and go from there. Listen, understand this clearly. I am part of an amazing network, and Mojo50.com is where you want to go to hear excellent content, not just this program. And again, if it's early in the morning, you just finished listening to Rocky Stucci from the Situation Room, and if it's in the afternoon, you just finished listening to Right Now with Jim Dawes. Please go to Mojo50.com. Click schedule button, and we go from there. Also, if we're going to do this the right way, because of the fact that we do have other sponsors I want you to be aware of, just starting your day off in the right way, being focused on energy and everything so much more. Let's look at one of our newer sponsors, and that's Patriot Energy. Check this out and listen for a second here, please. Are your energy bills getting out of hand and you want to unplug from the grid? Consider Patriot Energy, a local veteran-owned solar company. You need honesty, integrity, and clarity. These markers are essential in the ever-growing solar industry. Call 602-721-6717 for a free quote. Tell them that Watson from Battle for Freedom on Mojo50 Radio sent you. That number is 602-721-6717. Call Patriot Energy today. Yes, start off with Patriot Energy. Started off on the right way. If you want to interact, I want you to go to facebook.com/Mojo50 Radio. Now, mind you, if you're driving, I want you to continue listening via iHeartRadio or Spreaker or the other different ways that you listen, maybe even iTunes. I don't want you to get into a wreck. I don't want to be talking about you not paying attention on the road. But thank you for listening to my content. I appreciate that level of commitment to my program as well as to Mojo50 Radio. I want to get into this whole idea of heavily spotlights and unmasking the heart of people, because of the fact that as you know, the news cycle, talk radio, we talk about what people do. We talk and we say what we perceivably believe may be the heart of an individual. Sometimes it's just reporting the information. Sometimes it's just us editorializing things. It's just the way that we do things. And so sometimes we can assume that we know what's in the heart of individuals. Usually, we just let their actions speak up for who they are, and then we hope that we can clearly get through a lot of what's taking place. So we've been trying to tell you about the scariness of living in Democrat cities. I talked about the Democrat denominator yesterday, and we wanted to talk to you about the problems of being in a Democrat city and how you can't protect yourself. Well, I want to show you some video footage of it's just for a few seconds here. Those of you who are following on Facebook, and again, those of you who are driving, I'm sorry you can't hear this, but I saw a video. This is about a chilling moment. A gunman opens fire on an innocent mother with a stray bullet during the weekend of gun violence in New York. Priscilla Vasquez, of 25, pronounced dead at the scene after being shot in the head. The chilling footage was from the CCTV on East 152nd Street, where the shooting happened. And the victim's aunt told CBS News the bullet wasn't meant for Vasquez. No arrests have been made in the case, but police are appealing for information. And from midnight to midnight, at least 3 people died in the shootings across the Big Apple on Saturday, including Vasquez. So as you sit here and, everybody's talking about, oh, Cuomo did a great job in protecting New York from COVID-19. De Blasio's did a great job on protecting, the people from COVID-19. And crime is down. Because I had so many people, even this year, telling me that crime in New York was down, despite the fact that we had record number of crime activity. We've had the changes that have taken place in, the bail bonds reform. Earlier, folks, it's out of control. These Democrat cities. Everyone's telling you how it's kumbaya and everything's all wonderful. Even my city. I played you a video yesterday about how homelessness, people are defecating on the streets, people being stabbed. 2 in 2 days. Downtown Indianapolis. Run by Democrat cities. And they're going to keep telling you that this is kumbaya, you love it. There's nothing for you to worry about. It's just beautiful. This guy ran down the street, shooting. This is a common appearance. This is the normal. And this is the normal that I've had to live with in the black community, where we have to worry about white folk, right? Yeah. We'll just leave that one alone because of the fact that we don't want to get honest. We don't get real about what is plaguing our communities. I'm sorry. It's usually the people we see in the mirror. When we choose to be quiet, when we choose to remain silent. But I'm going to play a video from someone who doesn't want to remain silent. 2 black men in 2 black leaders in, I believe, a Democrat city who are fed up. And this stuff is beautiful. Check this one out here.
With the police department. But I want to be clear. What we experienced last night was not a protest. It was anarchy. The people that showed up last night, the anarchists that showed up last night, brought weapons to the table. They had guns, they brought explosives, axes, machetes, and had one intent purpose, and that was to harm our officers that were there to serve in the line of duty to protect our city. I want these anarchists to hear me clearly and loudly that this will not be tolerated in our city. You are not welcome here. If you choose to come back to Denver, Colorado, to incite anarchy, destruction, and violence, I will assure you, you will be met with every tool in our disposal from law and policy that we can use to stop you. Effective immediately, I am suspending the man PR bond, jail, and inmate cap I put in place due to COVID-19 in March. I want you to know that if you harm our city in any way, whether it's destruction of property and or persons, you will be arrested and you will be a resident of the Denver County Jail. We will also look at how we can help you be a resident of the state prison system and the federal prison system. All tools are at our disposal. Now I want to speak to you as a black man and a Denver native. The narrative that these anarchists are marching for justice of black lives is frankly false. The public needs to know that you do not represent us. Stop using the color of my skin as an excuse to tear up my city. These countless acts are not helpful. They do not represent what black lives are about or the city that black lives helped to build for generations. We ask you to stay home. If you aren't going to protest peacefully, you are going to use your constitutional right for the betterment of our community, then you need to stay home. Don't come out. You will be dealt with. And so with that said, I want to bring up our mayor, Michael B. Hancock, for his comments. Thank you.
Now, before I get to hear what he said, if you did not hear his frustrations, now you're starting to see, and I think that this is going to happen. This is beautiful because I think this is going to happen more and more. See, Democrats keep thinking that they can let these cities burn, okay? Democrats continue to think, oh, you could do protests. He is shutting it down. These aren't protests. It's anarchy. These are riots. This is destruction. Make no mistake. I know exactly what you're doing. And as a black man, stop using a message in my name. This has nothing to do with George Floyd. Why hasn't this happened since within 6 days of these riots taking place? Portland, Seattle, New York City. These other mayors, because he goes on later in the thing, this mayor says that, I've spoken to other mayors around the country. Y'all should have been saying something a whole lot sooner. It never should have made it day 5, day 6, day 10, whatever. It doesn't matter. Lord help us. This is so sad. This is so sad that it has been nothing but a nightmare. Nothing but a nightmare. And they don't want to do anything about it. You're going to have to fix this. And you're going to have to fix this now. Why in the world? Why in the world do they keep doing this thing? They keep letting it burn. They keep letting it get destroyed. And you know what? God is showing a spotlight on it. He's like, you have a chance. I think he said to this director who you just finished listening to, I think he basically said, listen, you can either speak up now or I'm going to make your life miserable. Speak up now or I'm going to make your life miserable. Please. This is very critical and this is very key. If we don't do anything, it's going to come back and harm us. But maybe you can't focus on this, and maybe because you didn't start your day off right. Maybe you didn't start your day off right with American Pride Roasters Coffee. There's a special that's going on. I want you to take a listen to this. This is really interesting. Did you hear that sound? That was the factory of American Pride Roasters closing from August 24th to September 14th. Don't freak out. APR Coffee isn't going anywhere. They're doing their annual factory shutdown to reorganize, restock, and clean. You can still order from them, but your favorite coffee won't ship until September 16th, around that time. During the shutdown, they are offering the Brad's Brown Bag Blend. It's a combination of the best brown beans from Africa, Eurasia, and the Americas. Brad's Brown Bag is an unforgettably tasty blend. In order to get this new blend, just go to mojo50 and click the donate button at the top. Donate at least $25 per bag. That's a nice round number. And you will also get a free 8-ounce bag of coffee for every additional 2 pounds you order at AmericanPrideRoasters.com during their factory shutdown. Please, take advantage of this limited time offer while you can. AmericanPrideRoasters.com. Yes, AmericanPrideRoasters.com. Start your day off the right way and do this, please. It'll help you. Let's get back into what this person said. This is really key. This is really key and powerful. This is the mayor speaking now.
Director Murphy, and I really could not have said what he said any better. Last night was a riot in our city. We will not be using the word protest or march. This was a riot. Perpetrated, as Director Murphy said, by people promoting anarchist policies and their own agenda, really over the well-being of the residents of this city. Here's the reality. They showed up, and again, Murphy said this, they showed up with the intent purpose of promoting and committing violence and vandalism in our city. And I want to underscore, I had conversations this morning with the city attorney, with the district attorney, and we're also having conversations with the U.S. attorney. We're going to do everything we can, use every element of the law and justice to hold those who committed these crimes in our city last night, hold them accountable, and to use the justice system, whatever means we have available in the justice system to hold them accountable. And one of those includes restitution. A lot of damage was inflicted on buildings last night.
particularly public-owned buildings. And I have instructed the city attorney's office to prepare, as we can prove, those who inflict this damage on our buildings, to prepare to hold them fully accountable for restitution. This should not be something borne by the people of the city, the taxpayers of the city. We will take those who break windows, who inflict damage on our buildings, and make sure that they'll be working for quite some time to repay the people of Denver for their damage. So we'll be prepared to do that. Let me say this before the chief comes up and gives us a summary of what happened last night. You know, working for change in our democracy comes from nonviolent protest and really going to the voting boxes on election day. Unfortunately, we have people who decided that the best way for them to get their point across is to try to inflict violence or to engage our police officers in a violent clash. We're not going to stand for it. We're not going to stand for their anarchy, their chaos, or their mindless destruction in our city. And so I have spoken with Chief Payson, made sure that the police department, as well as the sheriff's department, and our emergency operations center have everything they need, all the leeway they need to make sure that we restore order in our city and not allow this continued destruction and against the efforts against our police department to engage in the violent protests. So let me reiterate what Director Murphy said and what I stand 100% behind. One, we will not tolerate these actions in our city. Number two, we're going to use the full extent of the law to prosecute those who are accountable for destruction and violence in this city without question. And thirdly, we're going to use the arm of our city attorney's office to press civil charges when necessary to make sure that there's restitution for the crimes that are committed in our city, particularly when they work to damage public buildings, and we'll share that information with private business owners as well to make sure they can also pursue civilly to be restored and have restitution for damage to their buildings.
Thank you. It's about time. For crying out loud, you should have been doing this a long time ago. And what I love what the previous guy said, we will use every aspect of the law to make certain that you feel the pain that you cause the people in our community. It's time to get serious. And I don't know why. I don't know why many of these people are feeling that they don't have to say anything. De Blasio, Lightfoot, Newsom, and whoever's over in LA, San Francisco. American people. God is showing, he's shining the light. Now, again, like I said, the president has his flaws, okay? And if you listen to any real, sincere conservative, they will be honest about the flaws that the president has. But are they impeachable? Are they impeachable? We have evidence. There's evidence of, and the worst part about it is you even have fellow Democrats saying they believe Tara Reade was a rape victim of Joe Biden. But they still, that right there should be enough for you. You have the people who spoke out against Harvey Weinstein who are speaking out against Joe Biden and nothing. You still hate Donald Trump that much. Let me help you understand this. Because normally your argument when a person speaks out and they may not agree with the LGBT community and they may not agree with abortion, oh, you just hate women. You just hate gays and lesbians. Well, your silence on Joe Biden and his thing. So basically you hate women. If we want to use your argument, then it means that you hate women. You hate the Me Too movement. You hate women empowerment because Tara Reade needs every form of empowerment after being a victim of then Senator Joe Biden. But you guys don't want to do anything. It's hypocrisy. God's shining the spotlight on you right now. God is shining the spotlight on you right now. And there's nothing you can say to justify your willingness to be silent in this matter. But at the end of the day, that's your choice. You want to be vocal against Donald Trump? That's your choice. You want to be vocal for a women's right? That's your choice. You want to be inconsistent? That's your choice too. But it's unmasking your heart, your hypocrisy, your double-mindedness, And that's your choice. At the end of the day, that's between you and God. You may want to have that vindictive God send these people to hell mentality. Because I know that's generally the language you speak when it comes to Donald Trump. That's okay. I'll let you deal with that with God. Because there's nothing I can say right now to help you move from that ignorance. At the end of the day, it's your choice. Now let's get actually to something. This is really sad. I want to spend a little time on this one here before going to the break. Because this one, this was really sad. I don't know how many of you have heard this. I know there are a lot of liberals, and I know there are a lot of anti-Christians who are excited about this one. But how many of you have heard about the story of Jerry Falwell Jr. Being involved, where basically, I guess he was a voyeur, watching his wife have sex with another individual? And this was happening for years. Jerry Falwell Jr., where basically, he watched his wife, Becky, have sex with a guy named, I think, Giancarlo. And this is years of this going on. See, here's the scary part about it, is because of the fact that many of us keep thinking, even in the church, many of us in the church think that we can continue to carry on speaking up for justice, speaking up for righteousness. And God's going to expose every last one of us. Every last one of us hypocrites, because we're supposed to be beacons of light. Now, I'm not saying that we can live perfect lives, but to be so vocal against things and not in any way be contrite before God for the sin that's in our own life. I'm not saying you have to go on Wall Street. You have to basically make YouTube videos of the sin that you commit that's offensive to God. Maybe it's not something for the world to see, but maybe there has to be a level of contriteness and repentance and remorse before God, to just be begging God for mercy. Lord, cleanse me. Lord, please make me better. Help me honor you in my life better. I'm a broken individual. I am nothing without you. Please, Lord, let me not hide my sin. Let me not posture as though my life is fine and there's nothing wrong with me. And here it is. I'm not going to get into all the different things of what was going on here. But it's so sad, because in fact, one, we should be praying. We should be praying for this marriage, for Jerry Falwell Jr. and his wife, Becky. We should be praying for this marriage. No, never should we celebrate a marriage falling apart. Okay? Now, granted, the times that we may want to, if there's issues of abuse and there's no desire for reconciliation, if there's issues of infidelity and no desires of reconciliation, but at the end of the day, we always want to pray for a marriage to be restored. That's what God would want. But when there comes to a point where there's an individual in that relationship who has no desire to remain in the relationship, or if they're going to be in the relationship, they just want to live whatever way, they want to be open. The only person there are only two people in your marriage you should be opening yourself up to: God and your spouse, and nobody else. Period. But Jerry Falwell Jr. decided that he wanted to carry on in this craziness. And it's really sad. It is very unfortunate, because of the fact that it's going to catch up to him. Actually, I think it finally did catch up to him. He thought he could get away, and God basically said, "No way. I'm not going to let you dishonor me like this. I'm not going to let you dishonor me like this. I'm shutting it down, and I'm shutting it down now. Period." Please, folks, this whole idea of the heavenly spotlights, I think this is a warning for all of us. Don't think you can continue to play the game. Don't think that you can continue to mock me. Don't think that you can continue to carry on in your behavior. I saw something earlier. One of my friends posted they saying that they believe that an asteroid, we may miss the election because there's an asteroid choosing to come to America. Well, not come to America, but past the United States, past the Earth the day before the election. So we may not have an election. I'm telling you, Wormwood is coming, folks. Wormwood's coming, because I wonder if that has anything to do with Conway, which we'll be talking about shortly. But Kellyanne Conway. But this is something else. And folks, understand this: you keep playing the funk, you keep playing the games, and God's going to shut you down. Let's do this. I'm your host, Watson Prunier from Battle for Freedom. Let's go to a break, and I'll talk to you beautiful people on the flip side. That's it. You've hit the snooze button a dozen times and now have to finally get going. Why not have a hot cup of Watson's White Chocolate Caramel Coffee? American Pride Roasters Coffee is the official coffee of Mojo 50 Radio, which has a wide variety of excellent blends. I'm not going to lie. I'm partial to the blend named after me. Get it today at AmericanPrideRoasters.com and tell them that Watson from Battle for Freedom sent you. Get it today at AmericanPrideRoasters.com. Are your energy bills getting out of hand and you want to unplug from the grid? Consider Patriot Energy, a local veteran-owned solar company. You need honesty, integrity, and clarity. These markers are essential in the ever-growing solar industry. Call 602-721-6717 for a free quote. Tell them that Watson from Battle for Freedom on Mojo 50 Radio sent you. That number is 602-721-6717. Call Patriot Energy today. Welcome back, everyone. This is Watson Prunier from Battle for Freedom on Mojo 50 Radio. Again, I'm glad that you're joining me on this amazing network on this date. It's Tuesday. Second day in. I know you enjoyed your weekend. You want to be relaxed. Folks, it's about getting restarted, getting restored, and doing this the right way. You know what? Before I continue, let me tell you about another one of our hosts. Before I share it with not the host, sponsors. This is New Life Holistic. Take a listen if you don't mind. Does it seem like your mind often shuts down before it even starts? Sounds like you need to detox to improve your health in body, mind, and spirit. I'd like to tell you about New Life Holistic. It is an amazing therapy process that uses neurofeedback and biofeedback for many issues that ails everyone. New Life's approach to health, balance, energy, and vitality is what sets it apart from anything you have ever experienced before. Call 1-833-4-BIO-LIFE and tell them Watson from Battle for Freedom sent you. One more thing. Give them the code MOJO50 and save $50 off of your first session. The consult is free. New Life Holistic. Call them today. Yes, call them today. Maybe it can help you recover from all the craziness as you're watching 2020. 2020, when you were thinking with Barbara Walters, perfect vision, everything should have been just wonderful. Everything should have been excellent. This year has been nothing but chaos and insanity. Chaos and insanity. It's crazy because of the fact that, looking at the DNC, they tried to say with the Republican National Convention going on this week, they're trying to say it's a Republican National Chaos. Very interesting that they would actually use the word chaos when they have been the authors of chaos this whole time. They have been nothing but liars this whole time. I'm tired of hearing people call Donald Trump. Everything Donald Trump says is a lie that comes out of his mouth. Have you been paying attention to the Democratic National Convention? When Michelle Obama can feel completely comfortable and saying that Republicans and Trump put the kids in cages, separated the kids from their families at the border, when it was her husband who started that process? When you can feel comfortable about that, when you can sit there and say that the president did nothing to help people in COVID-19. We have a timeline where the president shut down the traffic to China and people call him xenophobic. This is all the information, and many of you don't want to pay attention. You just want to go with Orange Man bad. And God's going to show you your heart. I can't do it. That's not my role. That's not my responsibility. But I am praying for you, that you'll take this moment to really to repent and say, Lord, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for faking the funk. I'm sorry for repeating lies and deception, rather than looking within, seeing the cancers and the cankers within me, the disease, the rot, the death within me, and ask me to do better. You have a chance right now. You can repent. You can fall on your knees. You can ask for forgiveness. It is offered to you. Nothing to worry about. Please consider repenting, talking to God about this thing. You know what? This is one of the passages I posted this morning. This is one of my favorite verses. I love you, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer, my God, my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield, and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. Psalm 18, verses 1 and 2. Very powerful, and you can't go wrong in staying on that rock, the rock of God's word and the rock of his stability and the assurances that comes in yielding to him and to his spirit. You can't go wrong. So, we'll just pray for before going to break, we were talking about Jerry Falwell Jr. Let's pray for him, because of the fact that your marriage being put on the spotlight is not a good thing. I felt even bad for Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton with the whole Monica Lewinsky thing. Many of us on the right, we probably celebrated, yeah, look at that, let that marriage go down. Folks, really? You reap what you sow. That's all I have to say on that situation. You reap what you sow. But it was really unfortunate to hear about that. This was another thing that was very unfortunate to hear. I don't know if you heard about this one. This was about the whole idea of a special needs woman, 20 years old, who went into cardiac arrest, was pronounced dead before funeral home staff saw her open her eyes as they were about to embalm her. Tamisha Beauchamp was found unresponsive and not breathing at her home in Southfield, Michigan, early Sunday morning. Paramedics with Southfield Fire Department arrived and spent 30 minutes performing CPR and other life-saving measures. Having failed to revive the woman, EMT determined she was dead. An ER physician reviewed medical data and declared her deceased. The medical examiner's office released the body directly to the family. Beauchamp was taken to James H. Cole Funeral Homes in Detroit. And the mortuary staff saw the woman was alive and called paramedics, who rushed her to the hospital with a heart rate of 80 beats per minute. Her condition is unknown. And guess what? A lawyer hired by the family said Beauchamp was about to be embalmed when she opened her eyes. That last statement, a lawyer hired by the family said Beauchamp was about to be embalmed when she opened her eyes. Lord, now I'm not going to slam the EMTs. I'm not going to slam the individuals. Everyone thought that she was dead. But you know what? I think, we sit here and we talk about what 2020 has been out. The biggest thing of 2020 has been COVID-19. And I believe that COVID-19 has been a way that God has been trying to tell us, slow down, be still, and know that I'm God. But many of us, we continue to move. We keep running. We are putting ourselves in this position where we are damaging things because we won't slow down. Had a couple of accidents in the past couple of weeks because of the fact that I've been moving, and not slowing down. Thought that we lost some things because of the fact that they were broken in the process of the move. Unfortunately, when we slow down, less problems happened. In this sad story with this young lady being mistaken for being dead, I don't know what were the moving parts, what were the moving actions that prevented them from slowing down to recognize and do their due diligence. Again, these are paramedics. These are trained medical individuals. And again, I'm not here to slam them. Mistakes happen. This could have been a very costly mistake. And if anything, because again, we are 2 days removed from the shooting in Colorado. And I'm sure there's a whole bunch of people right now. You're like, oh, you need to say something, Watson. Why are you silent? Why aren't you saying anything? I will say something about the shooting. And I will say something about the shooting in Colorado. But I want you to understand something, though. It's I'm not going to say it the way that you want me to, because of the fact that you're thinking I'm going to lose my stuff and I'm going to be crazy. I'll talk about it in a few seconds here. Just be patient. But sometimes we need to slow down in our instant microwave society. I know there's certain things. I was talking when I was at the orthodontist yesterday about the whole idea of many of us, we want things instantly. I loved when Amazon was delivering things that same day. I've got to wait a whole extra day now to get my things delivered to me. God's like, can you live without it for one more day? I'm like, yes, Lord. I just wanted it right now. And he just shows our pettiness and our foolishness. Every last one of us. Listen, understand this. Any of us who say we have no sin in our lives, we are a liar, we're a deceiver, and the devil is our father. Go look at First John 1. Just read all of First John, and you'll understand. But chapter 1 specifically talks about the hypocrisy of us saying that we trust and believe in God, but we sit there and say that we don't have any sin in our lives, that our lives are perfect, pristine, clean. God's going to reveal your heart. God's going to show some spotlights on your life that I'm sure you would rather hide. Please do not mistaken God's silence as a means and a license for you to carry on in your hypocrisy. Let's go to the story for the Denver thing here. So this is a meme that I made yesterday, and if, again, those of you who are driving, you're listening, I apologize if you can't watch and see this. So I'm going to give you some words so to kind of give you a description of what's going on here. Because I have a picture of Cannon Hinnant, and with his peace sign up here, and the black man who shot and killed him execution style right in front of his siblings. So that's the picture in the up left corner, and it basically says, rest assured that the same people that didn't want to rush to judgment about the tragedy above, which is basically the black man shooting a white kid. Everybody say, oh, it's not racism. It's not systemic. Systemic racism only happens with because you have to be in a position of power. You have to be in a position of power. Hold on a second here. Let me take this image down for a second. You have to be in a position of power to be a racist. So a white police officer, basically sitting on the neck, unfortunately, or basically pulling someone over, as a position of power and threat. So that shows your racism. So mind you, this grown 32-year-old man, you would have to believe this is a position of power and authority of a 32-year-old man over a 5-year-old boy on a bike, right? Yeah? So many people are like, well, we're not going to rush to judgment there, but I'm sure. And they're sitting there, and all of a sudden, we're going to rush to judgment about the tragedy in Kenosha, Wisconsin, where a black man got shot in the back 7 times. Now, everyone, again, we don't have body cam footage. But you know how beautiful that was about the body cam footage that showed that George Floyd was resisting? Oh, he wasn't resisting. It was peaceful. That was the narrative we received. Keith Ellison, district attorney, knew about this, had the information, but refused to share the truth. See, many of you didn't think I was going to say anything about that. Many of you didn't think I was going to cover anything about that, about the idea that Keith Ellison had evidence. Again, I'm not excusing the death of George Floyd. But here it is. Y'all said that he wasn't resisting arrest. It showed he wasn't resisting arrest. And actually now, as you listen, you watch the new body cam video that came out, the footage that was available in the last couple of weeks, that shows that he was resisting. He started saying that he couldn't breathe. He was standing up and he was saying he couldn't breathe. So the narrative, when we kept telling you about the fentanyl that was in his system, is it possible that the coroners will actually prove it was the fentanyl that killed him? as much fentanyl that was in his system, but we don't want to talk about that because we have to talk about systemic racism and police brutality against black people. Because you don't want to be consistent in your indignation. Understand this. The heavenly spotlight is going to make its way toward you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing. And I'm praying that you will be honest and you will be truthful about this, and you will stop playing the game that you're indignant about. You're not indignant about what's going on. Folks, please stop the game. God's going to expose you. But I'm sure you're rushing. Look at this. Another black man dies illegally with the hands of a white cop. We didn't have to shoot him. De-escalate. Hey, who's going to de-escalate the situation with Gannon Hennett? Oh, don't want to go there. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Let's go to some of the other places where I know a lot of you people. I know a lot of you people. A lot of people I used to speak to here in Indianapolis, who I'm sure that they're having an orgasm with the rebellion in the Republican Party against Donald Trump. Namely, and again, this is one of the ones that I have to laugh, because they were like the number of people who always said that what is this former governor Kasich? Oh, he's such a great guy. I'm like, Kasich is a snake. Kasich is a snake. Where is it? I don't have it with me right now. I'm going to find the book, and I'll make sure that I have it with me and available so you can look at it on my shelf. I'll bring it out tomorrow. But Kasich is a snake. I can smell Kasich all the way from here in Indiana, one state over, and I can smell how corrupt he is. You guys keep wanting to, oh, he's so presidential, he's so stately. Stop looking for the external images, because Barack Obama, he was so stately, he was so well refined, he was a phony, he was a fake, he was play acting. Come on now. You don't want to talk about that. Because of the fact that for you, the problem that you are running into is you are easily deceived by your eyes, and you are letting your heart deceive you rather than allowing the truth that has been revealed for everyone to see, to speak out and share the concerns that you should have. Oh, Lord Jesus, please help us, because I don't believe that you want to pay attention to the reality of what's happening here. Lord Jesus, please help us. This is really sad, but here you go. Jeff Flake. I think the name right there should say enough for you. The name right there should say enough. Jeff Flake, former Arizona. Yes, I put an R in it. Sorry, it's a New York thing. Former Arizona Senator Jeff Flake leads dozens of Republicans against Trump. And basically, here it is. He says that in public declaration of backing Joe Biden at the start of the convention, Flake and 24 former lawmakers are supporting Republicans for Biden. Effort by the Biden campaign to undermine conservative support for Trump comes on the first day of the Republican National Convention in Charlotte, North Carolina. And Biden campaign deployed renegade Republicans at the DNC last week. Yeah, of course he's going to do this. Are you shocked? Seriously, are you shocked? Now, at the end of the day, understand this. Do I agree or support his decision to be turncoat? Yes and no. I agree. Well, let me do knowing yes. No, because of the fact that it's very sad to watch his level of righteous indignation be so faux. His faux indignation, because he's just trying to be another Romney. He's trying to be another McCain. He's basically garnering support from a party of division and death. There's no way around it. Well, you know what? Hey, let's continue to support this nonsense. That's fine. So here's where I do support it, because it's his right. It's Jeff Flake's right, and any of the Republicans who want to support Joe Biden, even Kasich, it's their right. It's their choice. And you know what, folks? This is what I want us to do. Instead of us attacking him, let's support him. Let's celebrate him and his decision. Even though we may not agree with it, let's celebrate in there, because here's the thing about it. at the end of the day, where the people like the Romneys, the McCains, the Flakes, and so many more, they're being exposed for who they are. And the Republicans in that community, if you support their actions, keep them in office. If you don't support their actions, remove them. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. But a bunch of Republicans, because here's where I want to address this, and this is where I want to address this from this perspective. There are a lot of people who are really excited, like, oh my goodness, this is really good that Trump, these Republicans are showing their support because of Donald Trump being so evil. Yeah. So basically, you're having an orgasm right now, excited for what you believe is victory on your side. And you're basically the same Republicans that you thought were evil, you thought they were wicked, you thought that they had no values. You're now willing to side with them if it makes your message sound that much more important. You're shifting. You're wafting contrary opinions. That's your choice. And that you live with the decisions of that. Very sad, very disappointed. I'm disappointed in Flake, but I'm not surprised. I was disappointed in Kasich, but not surprised. Here's another one that I'm sure that a lot of people, they're losing, they're having a great time, they're celebrating on this, and this is with Kellyanne Conway's daughter. The drama between her husband and her daughter. And this is a response to Conway's daughter and the idea of her mom stepping down. Check this out. This is something else.
Look what I did. Look at what I did, ladies and gentlemen. Look at what I did. Yeah, I know I said I was taking a break, but
Yeah, so you can't get a thought together, but you know what? That all those all those inconsistencies, all that drama it's a moment of excitement for far too many people because they hate Kelly Conway. She is nothing but a liar. She's nothing but a liar. She's nothing but I don't know how she can work for Trump. I'm telling you, it's very interesting to watch. It's very interesting to watch the level of hypocrisy in a lot of people who want to have standards, but when those same standards were violated under Barack Obama, politics is politics. It's just dirty politics. But man, Trump better do better in his God's going to expose your heart. And there's just nothing I can do about this. This is sad. You know what? Here's one thing. George and Kellyanne Conway's relationship has been very tumultuous, and it's I'm not in that relationship, so I can't say whether or not George is right in his actions and what he's saying. Do I agree with it? No. But at the end of the day, that is their marriage, and I pray that there's some restoration in that relationship. I'm praying that there's some restoration in that relationship because marriage is something that God has instituted. He has created. And it's not something that we should be so, feckle? Is that the word? Or we should just be so foolish on not trying to let them stay, let them survive. We should do a whole lot better rather than sit here and celebrate on these marriages falling apart. Please. We want durability in a lot of these relationships. And speaking of durability, let's go with some cat coolers. When the world is going to hell in a handbasket, you need rugged. You need strong. You need durable. You need cat coolers. These are the best coolers on the market in 27, 55, and 88 quart. Go to catcoolers.com and give them the code Watson to save 10% on your purchase. Don't settle for those substandard containers that melt, leak, and destroy your memorable moments. Tell them that Watson from Battle4Freedom sent you. Cat Coolers. Cat Coolers. Do it. Make it durable. Make it rugged. Get the right thing and do this the right way, please. Cat Coolers, and start this off the right way. Let's see. I want to share another thing with you as we go through here. Yeah. So let's go on to the next thing as we're about to close. We're closing in about 5-6 minutes here. I thought this was really interesting. So it says children raised in greener neighborhoods have a higher IQs and lower levels of difficult behavior. Study finds researchers looked at the IQ and behavior levels of 600 children aged 10 to 15. They used satellite imagery to examine greenery levels of their neighborhoods. For every 3% increase in greenery, IQ levels increased 2.6%. So here's my thing, because a lot of you are going to basically sit there and like, oh yeah, well, if you live in the neighborhood, you live in the ghetto, if you live in the city, you have no hope, because again, in New York City and Queens and Brooklyn and Manhattan, there's not a whole lot of greenery. It's the concrete ghetto. It's the concrete plantation. And so finding greenery and wanting to celebrate in that is something that you don't get a chance to see often. And so what we're doing is we're hoping that will change. We're hoping that will do better, and that people will be able to interact with. I love the idea, more greenery. I say what you do is you start tearing down these concrete ghettos. You start tearing apart these concrete buildings, and you start expanding people, not pushing them into the city, but pushing them away from the city, and allowing to give people more space, more room to live, to think, and to breathe. But putting them on top of one another, it's not a good thing. It's creating confusion. It's creating a disaster. These high-rise apartment complexes, don't agree with them. It's just not a good thing, because you're putting a lot of unstable individuals, every last one of us, no matter how peaceful we say we are, we're all unstable. We have that sin in us prevents us from actually being able to love one another the way that God's called us to do so. So I thought that was a very interesting thing. So I'm glad that we have a lot of greenery around where we live, and prayerfully we can expose our children to more greenery so that they take nature walks. Get out here instead of feeling like you're. Because think about it, when you look at what was it, the Patriot Games, the Hunger Games. They lived in concrete, cities that were dilapidated. Even in the Divergent series, it's very rare you saw, unless you were part of that agrarian or culture, that basic sect that focused on farming and everything like that. But everybody else lived in the cities. They lived in and around and away from greenery. So there's something else, something interesting. This was going to be my attitude of gratitude, but I'm going to actually cover this one, because this is something that I'm appreciative of. Donald Trump's fiercest congressional defenders, including Matt Gaetz and Jim Jordan, make the case for him at the Republican convention, claiming Joe Biden will lock you in your home and move MS-13 in next door to you. Trump loyalists who defended him in the Mueller probe delivered an extended speech Monday night. Gaetz spoke from the Andrew Mellon Auditorium and made fun of Joe Biden's basement TV appearances. He said Democrats will lock you in your home and invite MS-13 to live next door. Representative Jim Jordan brought up impeachment and the Russian hoax. Yes, and I'm glad that they're doing this. I'm glad that they're talking about this, because this understand this. I just finished talking about we need more greenery, and Democrats want to keep you away from greenery. They want to keep you away from enjoying outside. You can't go outside. You can't go anywhere. You can't live. You can't breathe. I can't breathe. That's the hashtag for George Floyd, but that's actually, get this. I can't breathe. The words of George Floyd are truly the words of America under Democrat rule. I can't breathe. You're constantly in my life. You're constantly invading my home. Because I showed, there was video footage of a kid who was basically in the middle of their lesson, their Zoom lesson, and there was a BB gun on the shelves, and the teacher felt the need to actually call. The teacher felt the need to actually call and report and have the police show up at the house. Because of the fact you saw a BB gun, you don't even know exactly what it is. It just looks threatening for you, and you have to say something. So, first word of caution is any of you, stop showing your guns. Stop showing your things. Figure out a way. Rent a curtain or something like that. Get yourself a partition and start hiding what's in your home if you don't want your rights violated. Well, it's my right. I shouldn't have to hide myself. No, you shouldn't have to. But we live in a mamby-pamby Karen world where you actually have people who don't know what they're talking about quick to report you. Stop giving them information. Stop giving them evidence to report you. Think better in this whole process. It's not going to get easier. It's going to get worse. And the more you publicize about what you have in your home, the easier you make it for the people who will turn their backs on you and report you. You make it that much easier. Use common sense on this thing here. So let's get to the attitude of gratitude. This is where I want to end the story, this program off on a positive note, because of the fact that some days my blood pressure was just rising there for a second there, and this is crazy. But I saw this beautiful story, and this was about a man named Chensi. He spends every weekend of his life at the Nanjing Yangtze River Bridge, the world's #1 suicide site, and saves people from jumping. He has saved more than 300 people from committing suicide. This right here, send me your story at b4faog@gmail.com. This is an amazing story because of the fact that it shows that if you're willing to put yourself in a position that you can stand up and be there for individuals, knowing where they are, knowing where their pains are, meeting people at their pain and meeting them at their lowest level, their lowest point in life, you can turn around and make a difference by choosing to speak into their lives and try and help them. It's not going to get the government to go to do this. If God has put you in a position where you can solve, because everybody wants the government to solve everything. Everybody wants to make that responsibility someone else's responsibility to help someone's life. And I'm saying to you that you have that opportunity. If God is giving you breath and air, if he's giving you legs and feet to move, a vehicle and the finances to actually help people who are in want and need, do it. Don't wait for the government. Do it. And if you choose not to, knowing that you're aware of the situation, you can do something. God's showing you the condition of your heart. I'm your host, Watson Prettier from Battle for Freedom. I just want to say thank you for paying attention. Brad Staggs and Daily Mojo's up next. Everybody, God bless and take care.